Don't worry folks, I listened to your complaints about me not wearing any clothes in my previous videos. I shall listen to your criticism. I'm wearing socks. Anyway, there's been a lot of controversy recently surrounding the character Apu Nahasa Pasa Apu from The Simpsons. He's been a fan-favorite character over the years, as a happy-go-lucky yet incredibly cheap owner of the Quickie Mart convenience store in the show. He's always a joy to see and I can't imagine the show without him. But that hasn't stopped sensitive people from crying racism over the character. Queens-born comedian Hari Kondabolu made a documentary called The Problem with Apu, addressing the character and how he's somehow and in some ways affecting America's perception of South Asian people. The Simpsons responded to this in the episode No Good Read Goes Unpunished, which has a plot dealing with Marge reading a childhood book of hers to Lisa, only to discover the more politically incorrect subtext reflecting the time period the book was written in. The episode contains a joke where Lisa says, "Something that started decades ago was applied and inoffensive is now seen as politically incorrect." We then see her look at a picture of Apu that says, "Don't have a cow, man." Marge then replies, "Some things will be dealt with at a later date." Lisa then chimes in, "If at all." The two of them then look at the screen. Well, that was a harmless jab at political correctness that addressed both arguments while still giving its own opinion on the matter. Typical Simpsons way of joking that's in no way gonna piss people off. It pissed people off. Social media erupted with backlash as well as defense. Mostly backlash. Even the director of the Apu documentary got involved. In The Problem with Apu, oh sorry, maybe I should be more culturally sensitive. In The Problem with Apu, I used Apu and The Simpsons as an entry point into a larger conversation about the representation of marginalized groups and why this is important. The Simpsons' response tonight is not a jab at me, but in what many of us consider progress. Oh, why me? Where do I even begin? First of all, do I even need to remind you that this is The Simpsons you're talking about? A show that for 30 years has taken pride in offending everybody? That's right, everybody. We have the Jewish stereotype, the fat cop stereotype, the dumb American stereotype, the Mexican stereotype, the Italian stereotype, the other Italian stereotype, the single man stereotype, the right-wing Christian stereotype, the extreme book-burning homophobe Christian stereotype, the old person stereotype, the angry sky stereotype, the baby stereotype, the evil rich CEO stereotype, the sleazy politician stereotype. Hell, even Lisa Simpson, the most down-to-earth and common-sense character in the show, is a stereotype of far-left-thinking progressives. In other words, the people who are bitching about Apu. But you want to know what really pisses me off about this show? The redneck stereotype. This show is causing people to think all country bumpkins are slack-jawed, roadkill-eating, poverty-stricken incest practicers. Where will the cruelty to my cultural background end? The Simpsons is meant to be an extreme parody of American life, and they succeed in that comedy by exaggerating every character's personalities. That's right, characters. Because these drawings on paper are more than just stereotypes they represent. They're three-dimensional, fleshed-out characters who we've spent all this time getting attached to. There are layers to these people. Homer is dumb, fat, and lazy, but he's a good father and husband who will do anything for his family. Krusty is a chain-smoking, greedy, and conceited performer, but that goes along with his love for making people laugh and wanting to make his father proud. Ned Flanders is an overprotective, nice, God-fearing Christian, but even he's willing to have fun and do simple things from time to time. And Cletus is just Cletus. But the point is, there's more to these characters than what type of people they're trying to offend. The same with Apu. Sure, you look at Apu the stereotype, but what about Apu the businessman? Apu the father? Apu the husband? Apu the good family friend? And let's not forget Apu, the loved person of the community that the people of Springfield went out of their way to make sure he became a legal U.S. citizen. Yeah, this guy is really making Indian people look bad, huh? It would be one thing if he was the constant butt of jokes in the show. Okay, he is. But so is every other character. Either complain about every other stereotype in the show or don't complain at all. Because when you only care about how one race is represented but don't give a crap about anybody else, guess what that makes you? A racist. People have also pointed out that Apu is voiced by Hank Azaria, who is a white guy. Sorry, must be some dry air in here. But if I have to explain myself, cartoon characters can be voiced by anybody, no matter what their race is. It's the voice of the characters that matter, not the representation. Oh, and need I remind people of all the white people that voice Japanese characters in anime dubs? I don't see any angry mobs burning down buildings over that. Do I see Apu as a racist stereotype? Of course not. I see a lot of stereotypes in cartoons as what they're meant to be seen as. Jokes. Exaggerations of people's personal traits. They're there for the sake of humor, not to be lessons on how people of certain races are. That's the beauty of comedy. It has a way of being both completely wrong and completely right at the same time. It's meant to make you think about the serious issues, while also offering a defense mechanism against them. For example, would you say that this following joke is racist? Everybody knows black kids don't believe in Santa Claus because no white dudes would come to their neighborhood after dark. Before you cry racist on me, a black comedian said that, and I laughed. Should I feel guilty for finding something funny that has racial issues behind it? Or should I laugh because he took a serious problem, turned it around, and put a comedic spin on it? Want to know what offends me, though? Want to know what really gets my goat going? It sure as heck ain't art, movies, TV shows, cartoons, or music. No, it's people. People will always find a way to get offended by something. If they're not complaining about a certain race not being represented well in media, they're complaining about football players not standing during the national anthem. Whether we want to admit it or not, we're all offended by something, no matter how much we like to laugh at each other for being #triggered. It gets to the point where I want to slap everybody and make them realize how hypocritical they're being, but that's just the world I live in, and I can't do anything about that. Where have we come as a society where we have to start worrying about what we can and can't say? That's not freedom, that's fear. And the day we as American citizens are told we can't say what we want to say is the day I no longer want to live here. As long as free speech is still a thing, there's always going to be people who want to be offended. And that's what makes this country so great. We have that freedom. We have that choice. We can debate with each other. We can learn so much from what we see and do. Be thankful you live in a country where you have the ability to be offended. Because it means there is art out there that's inspiring you to think. It's causing you to turn your head and question the world around you. That's something a lot of us are taking for granted. I'm all for representing people of different races fairly, but I'm also a believer of free speech. The middle ground we need to reach is acknowledging that us as humans all have things about us that we can make fun of, and that everybody is equally capable of being parodied. Because what brings us together is our ability to laugh with each other. Stay loony, my friends.